All right. Well, hey, everybody. My name's Tate, and this is founding Blink in a profit-sharing ecosystem. So what I'm about to say applies to what I've learned as an early founder in this ecosystem, and also things that you might be able to learn from some of my experiences. So yeah, this talk is going to cover who am I, what is Verto, how can you get involved in Verto, as well as the importance of ecosystem composability and some reflections that I've had as a founder over time. So yeah, a little bit about me. I like to ski. I'm also a student working on graduating high school right now. And I'm also a founder of the Verto protocol, which got started back in around July of 2020. But I discovered Arweave in late 2019 and really began building in Q2 of 2020. My first project was an open source project that attracted a developer community, and that led to me being able to put together a team to work on the Verto protocol. So things really just snowballed after Weekend Project is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so what is Verto? Just really quick. So Verto is a way for people to trade Arweave native tokens on top of the permaweb. So Verto is powered by a network of trading posts, which are like servers that can send and receive people's orders. And Verto was mainly created in the beginning to swap between profit sharing tokens R and Ethereum. However, now with the big NFT boom, people are now using Verto to trade NFTs, and so that's resulted in an interesting strategy change on our half. But I'll get into that later. So how can you get involved with Verto? So the main thing, like as a developer, we're mainly looking for people that are interested in starting up these trading posts. So the code base is completely open source, and anyone can start up a trading post. They're just required to hold and stake Verto tokens. That is like hugely beneficial to the protocol because it means that your trading post can effectively act as the matchmaker between people in making these orders. So by being a trading post, you can also earn fees as the trading post itself. But you can also earn fees from the Verto tokens that your trading post stakes. With regards to contributing to the code base itself, we're actively working on a caching server, and so I'm sure that we're going to have some scalability questions there, and contributing to that and collaborating with us would be very much appreciated. The trading post infrastructure itself is another massive piece. The front end, it's made in React and Next.js. We're currently migrating from Svelte, and also Arweave contract development, which is becoming more and more popular over time. So the main thing that I want I want people to take away from this is that we're here for you. Verto is a Lego store for your Legos, and I'll get into more about what that means later. But basically, if you're working in this ecosystem and you're trying to build something, my DMs are open. Anyone on the team's DMs are open. We're here to help you. And we've tried to make Verto as easy as possible for people to list new types of tokens, which is how the NFT, situation kind of happened. We made Verto like an open protocol where every token was supported by default. And so when people started minting these NFTs, they were supported natively by the protocol, and just people started trading them. And so, yeah, we're here for you. So one of the tools that our team has built to help you out is called Astatine. And basically what it allows you to do is distribute a set of tokens over a period of time. And you can control how many tokens you distribute. You can control the curve as seen in that picture there. And you can also control the amount of time that they're distributed over. But the main thing is that you can set the criteria for which these tokens are distributed, which is immensely powerful because you can incentivize people in your community to do pretty much anything that you want. So for example, Arweave is a great example or use case. Arweave has been using Astatine for quite a while now. And what they did, in my understanding, is basically whenever people were uploading data to Arweave, they could also passively be receiving these Arweave tokens proportional to the amount of data that they uploaded any given day. And so based off of this curve here, you can incentivize the early adopters to try out the protocol because they'll be able to earn the most tokens. And later on, that curve levels out. But really, it's flexible for you to do whatever you want with it. Verify is also another great example, and they've been using this for a while too. So you can find that at github.com/maximusblack/Astatine. The second thing is the Verto library. And the TLDR there is you can add trading functionality and analytics into your applications in 3 lines of code, which means that people no longer need to go to Verto.Exchange to be able to trade the asset that you're working on, or assets for that matter. So NFT marketplaces, if you want to add trading functionality, you can use the Verto library. I know of quite a few projects that are actively working on implementing this. Community XYZ has already implemented this so that when people are browsing through the different communities, if someone wants to buy some of the tokens straight from that discovery page, they can easily do that. And we're also actively working on a rewrite of this library, which will make it much, much faster, because right now the library is iterating through all of the contracts that are supported by Verto. And because of the way Arweave's, lazy evaluation of these contracts works, that can take some time. But we're working on that caching server that I mentioned earlier, which will take the load time, probably 100 times down, which is going to be huge. And of course, that'll be optional as well. You'll be able to turn that off if the API goes down or something like that. But yeah, the Verto library is there for you. And if you have any questions about integrating that, you can easily get in touch with us, and I'll be able to give you some links on how to do that soon. But yeah, so with regards to ecosystem composability, I think that this is one of the most important things to keep in mind when developing things in this ecosystem, as Sam was mentioning earlier. So, as a custodian of this protocol, we kind of feel that it's our responsibility to create standards for things that don't exist and always support the standards for things that do. And that might seem, small, but what it means is that over time, as people continue following these ideologies, you can end up building something that is instantly compatible with like 50 other platforms down the line. And it's an immensely scalable and powerful concept, and I can't stress the importance of why you should do that. It's going to be beneficial to you in the long run. It's going to be beneficial to your users in the long run. And yeah, it's overall, it encourages collaboration between these different applications in the community, which is huge. So a great example of this would be decent.land. So I know Sam has touched on this on Twitter in the past, but I thought that this was a really profound tweet. Because if you think about it, decent.land is actually a combination of Arweave's data storage with Verify, so that people can verify, that they're legitimate humans. Community XYZ, that's what decent.land's token is made of. Koi, which allows for attention rewards on these posts that people are creating. Squad, which allows people to index all of the posts and all of the profiles that people are creating, and track that cross-platform. And also Verto, because the decent.land token is compatible with the Verto protocol, because it's compatible with Community XYZ. And so yeah, it's like someone just went on and created this protocol, and all of a sudden it's compatible with 6 different things in such a short period of time, instantly, because they followed that system of ideals there. So I'd also like to give a few reflections that I've had in my time as a founder. I'm relatively young. I haven't been a founder for very long. You know, it's still very very new to me, and I'm always learning. But these are some things that I've learned in my time and in my experiences. So number one, you know, it's totally okay not to understand. With Arweave, a lot of people are coming into this ecosystem, and the technology is completely foreign. The way that the smart contracts work are not like what most people are used to. And so that can be confusing to a lot of people. But if you embrace the learning mindset, you can pick this up because it will allow you to surround yourself with the people that do understand this or are learning just like you. And you can collaborate with those other people while you're learning in a fun way. And beyond Arweave, you know, this is a great mindset to have because, you know, if you're working on doing something for the first time, you don't want to come across as arrogant or anything like that, because people are going to want to help you if you don't come across that way. And so, you know, in short, it's okay to be stupid and say that, you know, I don't understand something. Can you explain that better? With fundraising, you know, it was my first time fundraising a few months back, and embracing the learning mindset there is what got me through it. So yeah, I think that that's a really important lesson to be learned. And I'm sure that, you know, it's probably somewhat obvious, but I still think it's really important to say. So number two, emphasis needs to be on user experience. A lot of emphasis, not all of it, but certainly like we have a big opportunity here because Arweave is giving us the technology that we need to reach these mainstream audiences. You know, a lot of blockchains are very focused on DeFi right now, and DeFi is great. It's very cool, very powerful stuff. But the chances of a banking application, for example, reaching a mainstream audience as compared to a social media application is not really comparable there. And Arweave gives us the potential to create these banking applications, and I don't like to say banks because everything's decentralized. But it also gives us the potential to create these immensely powerful social media applications, as I'm sure you're going to hear more about later today. And so if we put a large focus on user experience, that's going to massively increase the chances that we have of reaching these mainstream audiences, which will be great for your community. It will be great for the ecosystem. And, you know, it's also something to be proud of. You know, having a good user experience just kind of feels good to you and also the people that are using your stuff. So yeah, I would say that that's very important. Number three, you can see this two ways, bad and good, but it's important to know that everyone has incentives. So make sure to stay mindful of that and also find alignments of those incentives whenever possible. Because if you can find an alignment between yourself and another person, you both are going to be incentivized to contribute value in the same way and collaborate on that. And so if you can collaborate with other people, there's a really great chance that you can make a bigger impact than you could if you just did it with yourself. And so, yeah, just make sure to stay mindful. People have incentives. I tend to be an optimist about this, but it's also important to know that this can also be something to watch out for. You know, people might try to take advantage of you. Luckily, I've never seen this in the Arweave ecosystem, but it's important to, you know, we just need to stay mindful of that concept. So number four, this is kind of, you know, this might not apply to everyone, but for us and in our developments, it proved to be extremely beneficial to develop in public. And the reason why is because we are building protocols, right? In this ecosystem, we're building a protocol. And the goal is not only to have people using that protocol, but it's also to have developers coming to it and building things on top of what you've built. And so if you can attract the right people, in this case, developers, you can speed up the progress to get people to develop on top of what you're doing. So developing in public for us was enough to get other developers looking at the code base and what we've done. And it encouraged them to do things like start trading posts or try using the Verto library to build something of their own in their own application. And it also really improved our community engagement because people were now asking questions about how do I build these things? What is the best way to go about using this library? Things like that. And so for us, it was really, really beneficial. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that. And number 5, this one might be kind of self-explanatory, but again, I'd like to make sure I put an emphasis on it. It's important to network and collaborate with as many people as you can, because you never know what opportunities someone else is going to be able to give you. You know, you've probably heard this from a lot of different people, but for me, there have been a lot of times where I'm kind of an introvert, and there have been a lot of times when I've been hesitant to go and network with other people. But I don't regret doing it at all, because as soon as I did, I realized that there were all of these random opportunities to meet other people that might be able to add value in other ways to what you're doing. And also, it helped me make a lot of friends in this online environment. And so in other words, it's important to add value in more places than just your own, because people are going to respect that, and people are going to be encouraged to also add value to what you're doing because they think that it's cool that you're helping other people out as well. So with regards to the future of the ecosystem, I don't have anything, you know, specific per se. I don't have a master plan of where I think Arweave's going to go. But what I would say is that there's a ton of room to build all kinds of things in this emerging market. And I say it's an emerging market because, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people are focused on DeFi right now, but Arweave gives you the capability of building really, really powerful things like social media applications and things that are other things other than DeFi for that matter. I should also say that permissionless innovation, building in these composable ecosystems will enable unforeseen use cases down the road. Because if you get the right puzzle pieces together, or Lego bricks for that matter, someone might be able to look at that thing and say, you know, if I add a Lego brick here, I might be able to build something that has never been done before, that no one has ever thought of before. And so, yeah, working in this composable ecosystem has fostered permissionless innovation at a protocol level. And in my short experience, I've found that in such a short period of time, people are building incredible things, and with you know, unforeseen use cases that we had never thought of when Verto came around. The best example is NFTs. And also, profit sharing will enable countless new mechanism designs, because all of which they'll be free to exist on Arweave. The power of micro tipping is, I think, bigger than a lot of what people might realize. It makes a lot of things possible that weren't possible before. And I don't want to talk too much about this because it's really up to your interpretation and what you see with it. But it's made a huge impact on this ecosystem, and it's made a lot of things that wouldn't otherwise be possible. So yeah, thank you. If you want to get in touch, feel free to reach out. Our Discord is Verto.Exchange/chat, and you can find me on email as well.